who you spend time with and how they live their life really powerfully influences what you're going to end up doing with your own endeavors, career, economic pursuits. You're a guy who teaches at Harvard from time to time. This is a Harvard prof. How much do you see that mattering to the students that you get in the classroom?
Well, Harvard's doing a lot of soul searching on a bunch of grounds now. As you know, they've been in a big debate with the administration regarding funding. Everybody knows that story. But they're also doing some soul searching on exactly this topic. For decades, Harvard has been a farm production unit for consultants, which I consider to be a waste of a soul and a life, because they never make a decision of consequence. They live in a sea of mediocrity, and they eventually go to consulting hell, which is the lowest level of hell. And that's about a third of every class. And so I tell that third, I'm not for you. But the other two-thirds are going to try and become entrepreneurs and create jobs. So the culture of America for over 200 years has been that of the entrepreneur, the inspiration of people coming here because they're persecuted in other countries, starting businesses, being successful. So that cultural idea, if your dad or your mother was an entrepreneur, you grow up in that environment, you see them working 18 hours a day, 8 days a week, it rubs off. Yep. And you do it again, or you support the family business. I think our educational institutions, particularly the theme of this, is to go back to those ways and think about what makes this economy so great, because you can look at it for not only decades, but for centuries. And I also look at the Nordic countries and say, why is Norway so successful versus, let's say, France? I mean, you know, I'm not saying the French are unsuccessful, but they have a massive amount of debt. The richest people in Europe are the Norwegians. So they had good policy, they have good culture, they have great medicine. The Swiss are also successful. And I try and point that out. You need to have this embedded in your DNA of your country. And I think the U.S. has done a great job doing it. That's why the American dream is still the American dream.